Hi, we're going to try this all over again. And this time I want to make sure that you guys can hear me. So let me go and check. Because I did a lot of talking and you guys couldn't even hear me. And so let me just make sure. I did a lot of talking and you guys couldn't even hear me. Okay, so I can hear myself. Okay, this is perfect this time. Promise this time is going to be better than last time because guess what? You're actually going to be able to hear me. So let's start all over again. I deleted everything that I did over in Mailchimp so we can start all the way from the beginning. Mailchimp, all things Mailchimp. Yes, let's go. Again, if you're just here and you don't know me, my name is Shelly, known as That Girl Shelly online, and I work with entrepreneurs who are ready to create a professional online space so that they can start to attract clients who are willing to pay for their products and services. The second time is always the charm. I can actually see the volume moving up and down, so this is going to be great. I promise this is going to be great. All right, so let's go ahead and get over to Mailchimp. First, before we go over there, let me once again tell you guys why I recommend Mailchimp to newbies, right? To people who are new entrepreneurs. The reason why I recommend Mailchimp is because Mailchimp is free. When you're just learning how to get people on your list, what free things you're going to offer as incentives to get people on your list, how you're going to create sales funnels and lead magnets and all of that stuff, I highly recommend that as you're learning that, as you're figuring out how that looks and works in your business, that you start with a platform that's absolutely free. Mailchimp is absolutely free, right? For the first up to 2,000 people. Right? So let's go over there. If you don't already have Mailchimp, you can sign up for Mailchimp at Mailchimp.com. But let's go there. All right. So this is the back end of Mailchimp, right? When you first log on, Mailchimp is going to ask you for certain things. They want to know your first name, your last name. They also want to know your physical address. And so the reason why they need that is because they can't send out any emails on your behalf unless they think that you're a real person. Right? Real people have physical addresses. And so they want you to have a physical address. If you're running your business out of your house, I highly recommend that you don't put your house email address, your house address there. You will have to put an address, just don't use your house one. Okay? It's also going to ask you your business URL. Your website, right? If you don't have a website, Mailchimp also allows you to set up your account using your Twitter URL or your Facebook URL. So with Facebook and Twitter accounts, you still can set up this free Mailchimp account, right? So now we're on the back end of Mailchimp. What are some of the first things that you need to do? So right here, when you would have signed up, that the first name is just your name. The second name is actually your account name. And that's the name that if you're connecting your Mailchimp over to a plugin over on your website, right, where you've seen these people that they have pop-ups, you put in your name, your email address, and hit subscribe or download. Those type of pop-ups are connected to your Mailchimp using that account name, right? So let's go over to account. Some of the things that you would need to do over here on the back end would be to go to settings, go all the way down to verified domains. And so I did this when I was training you guys the last time, which you couldn't hear me. And so what I actually did was I went through the process of verifying my hello@thatgirlshelly.com email address, right? So that's the first step. And then the second step would then to be to go back in to authenticate it, meaning that this really is my website and I can prove it, type of thing. And Mailchimp actually gives you the instructions to do that, but you absolutely want to verify your domain name. And you absolutely also don't want to send out newsletters from Mailchimp or any email courier using a Gmail or a Hotmail or a Yahoo account. Those emails, they kind of already mark as spam and it gets limited visibility as opposed to email addresses that actually have your website as the back end extension. Okay? So that's under settings. Under connected sites, if you actually have a store, so say you have a store connected with your business, you have Shopify or BigCommerce, WooCommerce, those types of things, you can actually connect your store to your Mailchimp account. And they give you the steps here. If you click on there, that can easily walk you through doing that. Okay? The other thing that you would do here would be integrations. If you actually want your list to be attached to your Facebook account, then you can go here and add your Facebook page, right? To connect your Facebook page to Mailchimp, so that way you can have a sign up form directly on your Facebook business page. Right? And this is very important if you're trying to build your list, right? You want to show people ways for them to sign up at all places possible. And this gives you an easy way to show people that they can sign up to your list, that they can connect with you further right there on Facebook, right? They don't have to go anywhere separate. They can do it right there on Facebook. And so that's under integrations. Now, all the pop-ups that you guys have seen people have on their websites, where it pops up and you can put in your name and your email address, or you've seen people that have the horizontal bar that will say, grab my free tips for XYZ, and then you put your name, your email address, and you hit get now or something like that. They do that through the connection with Mailchimp to their website. And the way they do that is with something called an API key. Now, this one is already set up. Let me see if I want to disable it. See if when I disable it, I can delete it. Doesn't matter. When you actually come back over here to this section, you won't see anything here, and it'll say something. You'll only see create a key, which is great. You're going to go ahead and click on that. And then once you click on that, it will create this API key for you. Why do you need that? Well, when you use plugins like the Mailchimp pop-up plugin for WordPress, or the Bloom plugin, if you guys are using the Divi theme or any of the elegant themes, the Bloom plugin, then what it will ask for in order to have your site and Mailchimp talk to each other is this API key. And so this is the actual key that you'll copy and paste and put in that section. This is also needed if you guys are having your, if you have lead pages, for instance, and you're trying to get lead pages in Mailchimp to talk to each other, to connect, you give them this. Your username is always this name here, or you'll always see it again when you go into account settings. It's always this big header size name that pops up there. That's your username, and now this would be your API key, and that's how you would make everything integrate. Okay? All right. And so remember, all of these were under the account settings. Okay? So now I'm going to go back over to the dashboard. So we're back at the dashboard, and now we want to create a list. We actually want to have a place where people can come and give us their email address. So we're going to create a list. And so what it asks for is your list name, right? And note, it gives you examples. They'll say, your subscribers will see this, so make it something appropriate. Don't make it something where it's numbers and code and people who see it, they're like, what in the heck? Make it actually something that, people will see, that you don't care if people see. And so I'm going to put test demo newsletter. And then it says default email address, and it's going to come from that email address. And it says from the default name, and it's going to come from me. And then you have to come down here, and you have to remind people of why they signed up for your list. And you'll say, thanks for signing up over at thatgirlshelly.com, right? But this could be whatever you want it to be. Here, the address that automatically populates in this section is the one that you would have used when you initially signed up for the account. If you no longer want that to be the address that they used for this particular list, or that you want associated with this list, then you can click edit here, and then you can change the address. Note, you can't leave things blank. You actually have to have an address there, but this gives you the option that different lists can have different addresses. Okay, so let's save. Oh, other thing, they give you ways where you can get notified. right? When somebody signs up to your list, you can say, okay, I want Mailchimp to every day send me a summary of who subscribed and who unsubscribed to my list. Or I want them to send me every time somebody subscribes. I don't care if I get 100 people subscribing in a day. Every time each one subscribes, I want them to send me a notification. Or you can say, I only want to get notifications when people unsubscribe to my list. So you can decide how you want to get notifications. I normally leave those blank. I normally just come back in and check Mailchimp to see who signed up. I really don't want to get notifications from Mailchimp. That's just me, my preference. But whatever your preference is, you check the box that matches that. And then you'd hit save. Right? So now you have your first list. Test demo newsletter. Nobody's in it, right? Just created it. You would have just created it. Mailchimp gives you a couple of ways that you can add people to your newsletter or to your list. I'm sorry. And so you can import subscribers. Say, for instance, you've been somebody who's been doing your email campaign in a very old school type of way, where you've gotten people to sign up on sheets and, you have all of their names and email addresses, but you have it like in an address book or on paper or whatever, right? Then what Mailchimp allows you to do is they say, okay, I realize that some people might already start off with people in their list, so let me allow them to import them in, right? So you can actually import those subscribers in. You can either bring it in as an Excel sheet, right? Excel sheet. You can bring it in a .csv or text files. You can copy them in that way, or you can actually import them from other places. So like your Google Contacts or your Zendesk, or, they have a whole list of ways that you can import them in. So you decide which way works for you, even if it's just kind of a copy and paste type of thing. And then those people will automatically get on your list, right? The other way to get people on your list is to actually add them in. And I'm going to click out of this because right now it has this list section open. And I want to show you what it looks like when you just get to your list and now you want to add somebody. So if I click back on the list in the nav bar up here, it will show it to you like this. When you first come on list, if you've already created a list and, now you see it this way, right? I have 0 subscribers. I don't have any open rates because I haven't sent anything out yet, right? And it tells me when I created this list. If you want to add a subscriber, you can click on that icon there. You can also, no, you can only click on this icon here. I thought it had it in a drop down, but that would be double. So you can add it right here. And then I can put myself in, right? And so it says, Mailchimp makes you confirm this person gave me permission. So I have to click yes to that. And then I'm going to hit subscribe. Notice they'll tell you this person will not get a confirmation email. The reason why they don't get a confirmation email is because the assumption is they already gave you permission to be on a list. They don't have to go through all of these steps again, right? Because they already gave you permission. So we're just going to let you put them on a list. And then you hit subscribe. And then if I go back over to my test demo list, newsletter list, let's see. I should be able to see myself in it. But let's see. Let's manage contacts. Sometimes it's a little delay. And I'm going to go to view all contacts. No. Did I not hit save? All right. Let's try this again. Add a subscriber. Thought I hit save. Email address. Oh, maybe it's because I had the same email address as the account. Let's see. Shelly, go ahead and put my money. This person gave me permission. Subscribe it. Mission accomplished. Okay, there we go. Okay, so now it's showing the 1, right? All right, so that's how you actually get people on your list. Now, you have this list, but how do people get on there, right? I showed you how you can get the API and the account name, right? And you can connect your list that way. on your website. If you have a plugin, then you can actually pull up this list that way. But say you don't have a website yet, right? You don't have it and you want to create sign-up forms where people still can be able to join your list. This is how you would do that. If you scroll down here to sign-up forms and then go to general forms here, then you actually can create a sign-up form for your list, right? For this test demo newsletter. And so right now we're here. In this section up here where it actually has that test demo newsletter, I can decide, okay, let's take that out. I actually want my logo in that section. And so if you want, if you want your logo in that section, then you come here to that icon. And I already have it in there. If you didn't, you can upload it from your computer and bring it in. But since I already have it in, I'm just going to click on that and I'm going to hit insert. Now, it's asking me, you know, this is how it's coming in. It's coming in 350 pixels by 84 pixels. Do I want it that big? I actually don't. I want it a bit smaller. So I'm going to change it to 200. It will automatically keep the proportions. So it'll automatically change the height without me having to do anything with it. Now, I'm bringing the logo in. It's automatically going to come in as a left justified logo design. And I don't want that. So I'm going to click on show image options. And I just want to align it center. Right? And then I'm going to hit save and insert. And I'm going to hit save and close. And it did not center it. It's pretty small too. Okay. I don't know why it didn't center it, but let's see it again. Yeah, I want it to be centered, which is saying. And I want to make it a little bigger now. Let's see how small it is. And I'm going to hit save and insert. And let's see what's going on. And it didn't do it. Okay. And so that's fine. It did not do it, but I want it to be centered anyway. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually go over here to the code and I'm going to force it to center it. So I'm just going to force center it because I actually want it to be centered. Okay, and then I'm going to hit save and close. There we go. All right, so it's centered. It's the way I want it. That's what I want, right? Now here, it asks you, okay, what kind of, do you want to add a message with your sign-up form? And you can edit that, and you can say something like, join now to receive tips for building, for building your business, right? And you can make that where you have it centered. You can also change the size of it, right? You can make it bigger. You can also change the font of it, right? They have some predefined fonts in here, so you can pick one of their fonts. You can also change the color of it, where you can use one of their colors, or you can actually use a hex color. I thought I still had my hex color saved. Okay. Or you can actually put a hex color in, right? And then it'll change it to that color, and then you can hit save and close. And you can put whatever information you want to here. It doesn't just have to be one sentence. It could be whatever you want there. But just note that they're going to actually see that before they see any of the other information that you're going to put under that. Okay? And my computer is just, my internet is just thinking about it. Why is it just, okay, there we go. All right, so now, then you decide what parts of the form you need people to fill out, right? So you need their email address. If you want their first name, you can leave their first name there. If you want their last name, you can leave that there too. If you decide, hey, I don't need their last name, I don't really care that that's there, then you can either do the negative here and delete it, or you can come over here and delete it. So we're going to do that. And then it's going to ask you, are you sure that you want to delete it? And you're going to then type in delete. and that deletes that, right? So now we have the email and we have the first name. Now, say there are other things that you need from people that are signing up for your list. Say, for instance, you want to know where they're coming from or how they found your business. Then you can do things like add checkboxes, right, to it. So then checkbox comes down, and then you can say, oops, let's not make it all caps. How did you find my website, right? And then you can decide what you want as the fields. You can put Facebook, Twitter, friend, or colleague. How much do you want to bet? I don't know how to spell colleague. So we're going to say friend, and then we can put other. So we're going to save that field. And then it adds all of those down there too, right? And then the subscribe to the list, that's fine. So now when people come to your list, this is what they'll see. All of the Mailchimp branding stays on as long as you have their free account. If you have one of their paid plans, then you can get rid of the Mailchimp branding. But with their free account, you have to have that Mailchimp branding on there. And then let me just make sure nobody has any questions for me. No. Okay. So now this is that. If you did, so you built it. If you want to design it, then you go here and you can change certain things. So right now the background is gray. If you said, oh, I want the background to be white, then you can change it to white. All right. But you can change it to whatever. You can put your specific hex colors in there. You can change how, let's see. In this body, you can change all of the stuff that's in here. We just did that over in the other section. You can also change the link styles. If you had like links in there, what color they would be, you can change all of that. The default text, you can change the what font family is part of, the color of it. You can change all of that. So it gives you a little bit of flexibility with color. Translate it. Right? And I'm only going to send you here because I just want to show you one section that you might want to change as part of your list. So your list automatically with Mailchimp puts on there subscribe to the list. That's automatic. If you don't want that, you can change it here. You can change it in this section, in the translate section, to grab your copy, right? And then you can hit save translation settings. So now when you actually use this URL, which is your sign up form URL, and you paste it here, right? Then it's no longer subscribe to the list. It's grab your copy. And then it has all of the checks there where people can fill out, and it has the name and the email. So it has all of that, right? I centered that. All of this comes in left. You might want to keep everything left to make it matchy, right? But now this is your list. Now what can you do with this list? If you do not have a website and you still want people to start connecting to your list, say you're building your website or you're using your social media platforms right now as your way of conducting business, then you're going to really, really want to make sure that you copy this URL and you use this URL as your link in your profiles. So on Instagram, this will be the profile link, right? They can click on that, they can get on your list, right? Or you use it in your Facebook as your profile link, right? You make sure that you use this link so you spread it around even without a website and allow people to be able to come and join your list. Okay? If you have a website, I would suggest that you don't need this at all. It's just kind of like an extra. You don't really need it. You do have to set it up because they want to know what fields you want that you feel are important. When you integrate it with your other plugins or even with like lead pages, they will pull information that you would have set up on a sign up form. So whether you want the first name or whether you only want the last name, that type of stuff, they'll pull that information. But then the design of it would be dependent on whatever plugin you use or however you make it look over on lead pages. Okay? So that's the sign up form. Now, let's go over to what happens once they sign up. Now, before Mailchimp had it where automation was free, you'd have to set it up where you do these opt-in emails, all of the thank yous, and all of that stuff right here from this page. But we don't have to do that anymore because now they've made it so that automation is free for everybody. And so let's go set that up. So we're going to go over to automation. Right over here in Mailchimp automation, they kind of give you like this kind of guide of how, or the possible ways that you can set up your email sequence, right? So if you are e-commerce or retail entrepreneur, then you may want to set up one of these, right? Or if you're a nonprofit, you know, they have those options for you on how you can set up your automation. But I always scroll all the way down till I get to list activity, because what I'm more concerned with is when people sign up for my list, I want them to initially get this welcome message. I don't want them to get all of the other stuff that Mailchimp automatically sends out. I want them to start my automation, which means that I have to set it up. So we're going to go to add automation, and we're going to call it, we can call it welcome to the list. And now it's asking, what list do you want to use? Well, we only have the one list, the test demo newsletter. If you have more than one list, then you'd use this to figure out which list you want to set up this particular sequence for. And so we're going to use the test demo newsletter, and then we're going to hit next. All right, and so it automatically sets up the first welcome email. It doesn't have anything in it yet, but it has it there for us to start building, right? So now the first thing that you'll notice is that it has it where it triggers that the person will get whatever we create for this welcome email one day after they join my list. And that's not what you want. You want them to immediately get your welcome email. So let's hit edit trigger. And instead of them waiting a day, we want them to immediately get this welcome series. Now, it's giving you an option. It's saying, do you want even the people that you import in to get it? Or do you just want people who join the list, you know, join the list without you putting them in to get it? And so you decide how you want that. If you're just starting out and you want everybody to get it, then you trigger it when they're imported. Right? So we're going to change that to immediately. And then we're going to hit update trigger. Right? And so now that's updated. And it's already scheduled that it goes out every day, all day. So it doesn't matter. Whenever they sign up, they get it. Right? And so now let's design it. So it's asking you, what are you calling it? And then we're just going to call it the welcome series. No, they won't see that. And then it asks, what is the email subject that you actually want them to see? And so we can say something like, here's your download, right? And then it says, okay, so some of these are already filled in. It's coming from that girl Shelly because that's what we already had set up on that list. And this is the email address that it's coming from. If you want to change it, then you can, okay? And now we're going to hit next. And now it's going to say, okay, how do you want this to look? Now, Mailchimp gives you a couple of options. You can either say, okay, I don't need to see your information in it. I can go through here and I can pick out the design that I like, right? Whether I want it to be one column with then the option to have two columns later on, or I just want it to be strictly one column, or I like this layout with the pictures in it. You know, you decide which one you want. Now, you can do it this way. If you like it where you like more of a blueprint style, then you can say, okay, I'll pick one of these. If you're more of a visual, in order for you to decide how you want your campaign to look or how you want this welcome to look, then you would click on themes. And themes allows you to see it with real content in it. So then you can come in and say, oh, hey, I like the way that one looks. You know, that's the one that I'm going to use. That type of thing, right? I used a different one the first time when I did the training. Let's just pick a different one. We're not going to spend a lot of time on it. I am just going to pick this one. Okay, so now we're here. right? It has this whole layout on it. We can change all of the things on it. Right now, you notice that it has this blue background. If you go over to the design tab, and if you go down to page, it's going to ask you, what color do you want your background? And you can say, hey, I don't like that dark blue at all. I want it to be white. And then you can change it to white, which it didn't change. Oh, because it's that background down there. Oh, I got you. Okay, so it did change it to white, but now let's go back, because that must be in the page. So in the body, we're going to change the background of whites to white also. And then in the header, we're going to change it to white, right? I'm going to make everything change to white. And then we can leave that a color, because I don't mind that a color. Just didn't want it so dark down here. But you have the option on how you want to change things, right? So here, that's where they had the logo. Let's go back over to content. If you click here to that pencil, that's how you edit it. This is if you wanted to duplicate it, and this is if you wanted to throw that section completely away. You wanted to delete it. You didn't want that at all. But we're going to go ahead and edit that. I am going to, oops. Here we go. And then I am going to replace that logo with my logo. I'm going to hit insert, and it's there. I want to edit it. Do I want to edit it? I don't want to edit it. I want to leave it like that. And so this one here, now it doesn't allow me to put in my fancy code where I centered it, right? And so say, hey, you want that centered. If you go over here to settings, it'll say, oh, how do you want it aligned? And I can center it there. And then it'll say, oh, do you want it from edge to edge? And then it'll shrink it up. Or do you want it to be a bit smaller so it can stay in high def? And then you can change that there. Just depends on how you want it to be viewed by people who come in. And I'm going to leave it like that. And I'm going to hit save and close. So now we're here at this section here. All of the sections you can edit it by going in, clicking on a pencil, and making your changes, right? So this one actually has it where it has this background image in the back, which is this gift. And then it has this content down at the bottom, right? And then they styled it where they actually have it as that background, right? So they've got a little bit fancy with it. And so that's fine. If you have an image that's clear like that, let's just go find one. Let's just go find one. Let's see, what do we want to put there? It's the welcome image. We want it to be, let's see, I'm just going to Google download. That's not gonna work. Let's do bonus or something. Let's see what we get. Bonus. Okay, so let's do images for that. And I'm just showing you this just to show you how you would get it in. And we're gonna do bonuses pink, meaning that it has a transparent background behind it. And so let's pick this one. Right? Notice that if we view the image, it has this kind of transparent. Let's save this image as bonus. Oh, that's a JPEG. That is not transparent. I'm sorry. These are supposed to be transparent. Let's try this one. There we go. This one's transparent. And you'll notice that it's transparent because it had the checkerboard. So we're going to save image as bonus orange. That's fine. If we go back over to the automation, now we're going to replace that. We're going to insert in. Oh, I didn't want to. I want to replace that. I want to upload. I'm sorry. I want to upload that bonus that I just put in. All right, so now I want that there. And then I also want to change the style of it because I'm not really feeling that blue. So let's make it so that we have it like some kind of like a creamy color, and that's not even, but you can change that color up there, right? Then the content of it, they also had this whole thing here. Notice you can't see solution sale, so they must have had that in white. right? And so now if we remove that, then you can see it there. You can center all of that. And then you could say something like, you know, thanks for joining my list. And then you can say free biz tips download. Now, if this is actual your download, and you can say something like all of my top secrets for success as an entrepreneur, right? Right, so this is it. Now say that you want that to link over to your download, right? To the actual download. They click on that, they get it. So then you'd actually link it here, and wherever you had your download saved is where you'd put here, right? If it's a file, you can actually upload your file here too, and you can have it linked from Mailchimp. Most of the time I have my files in the cloud, in the S3 cloud, but you can absolutely upload your file here, have it linked to your document that way. Okay. And then they'll put an underline on it. They'll let people know that it's linked, and then that will be fine. So let's X out of that. Let's cancel that. And then if there's any other stuff that you wanted, so let's save and close that section. This section is a brand new section. If it was something that you wanted them to know there, you can delete this one if you don't want that one there. If you wanted to bring in more, I'm going to delete this too. And this one. And this one. But you can make your newsletter as long as you want to, as short as you want to. It can be short and sweet. It can be long. It can be whatever you want it to be. You can bring in any of these from over here, drag them in, and add them to your newsletter, right? So if you wanted a picture and caption, you can do that here, right? But any of those things, and how you would do your picture, you'd browse it that way, upload it there, and then you'd write all of your caption stuff here, and then you hit save. Right? So these could be all of your sections. If you actually wanted to know what it looked like, how it would go out to your person, the person who subscribed to your list, then you can enter preview mode, and then you can see exactly how it would look to them. If they were on desktop, if they were on mobile, right? Or if they were receiving it in their inbox. Oh, inbox previews are only if you have a paid account. So sorry. But you can actually see it in desktop and mobile, and that's fine. So I'm going to X out of that. Say this is perfect. This is what I want for my welcome. Then I'm going to hit save and close. Right? So now I have it with my welcome series. When they sign up for my list, they automatically get that email. Now, if you're the type of person, and this could be it. To be honest, you can say, I only want for right now people who join up for my list to get that one, and that's it. And then I will follow up with campaigns, what Mailchimp calls campaigns, for any other correspondences that I want to send out to my people. That's perfectly fine. Or you can say, no, I want them to get that welcome email, and then 2 days later, I want them to get another email that talks about my program, or that talks about this, or encourages them to join my Facebook group. If that's the case, then you come down here and you click on add email, right? And then you can decide on how you want it triggered. Right? You can edit the trigger, whether you can get it 1 day after that you sent the previous email, or you can change it. You can wait 3 days, right? 3 days after they get that first email, now they'll get this first one in my series. And so when you hear people say that they have like this email series, this is what they've done. They've gone in and they've set up different kind of triggers on when people will get different emails based off of when they signed up and what step they're in your sequence, right? You design this the same way. You can add emails on and on. So that's how you would set up your automation. So now, because this is set up for this particular list, all of the new people who sign up for this list will come to this welcome series. They won't get anything from Mailchimp. They'll actually get this first welcome letter when they sign up to be on your list. Okay. So let me save and exit that. And now I'm going to go back to the dashboard. Oh, I'm sorry. Let's finish the automation. welcome series immediately after subscribers email. All right, so let's edit these. It's giving us warnings and errors, and so we have to fix them. So let's go fix them. See why they don't like it. Let's go next. Okay, we already did that. Let's go save and continue. All right. Now, we didn't do anything with this trigger, so I'm going to actually delete that email. All right, so I'm going to delete that one. Because since you know how to set up one, you can set up all the rest of them in your list. You're just going to, the only thing that will change is that when they're triggered, when you actually trigger them will change. Okay, so there we go. All right. And now I'm going to hit next. Email detail. We notice some placeholder text in your message. Click resolve or remove it. So they had footer automatically included. Okay, so they actually had some. Gotcha. And it tells you which area they didn't. Okay. So that's kind of like their checks and balances. So what it's basically saying is, hey, you changed the information down here. You did not change the information up here. That was our information. Hey, go back and change it. So we're going to edit that and we're going to say here is your free download. We're going to save and close, save and continue. All right, now we're going to hit next. All right, and now it's going to say, okay, you set up all of this automation. Do you want to start it? And we're going to start the workflow. And we're going to hit start workflow. All right, Mailchimp always gives you kind of these high fives, rock on. So now it's telling you, hey, look, they're here. And so anytime now somebody signs up for that particular list, they'll actually come through this whole automation series. And it actually tells you, okay, how many emails were sent, right? And then what were the open rates? What were the click rates? What were the sends? Now, one email was sent because I actually had it triggered where when they, even if I imported them in, they get it. And so one of the people actually, no, if they sign up, they automatically get they become part of the series. And so because I signed up over here, then I'm automatically a part of that email. So it's sending me that email right now to come to be a part of that whole welcome series. And now everybody else that signs up will actually bypass what Mailchimp has in as its default, and they will actually go through this automation series. If when you come back to your site, if you click on the automation tab, you can actually see your open rate and all of that stuff here. You can see like your mini report here, how many times they sent it, what the open rate was, what the click rate was. Now, say that you're just sending out newsletters. You're just like, okay, I've gotten them on my list. You know, I've set up my welcome automation, and now I want to send out weekly newsletters. Perfect. In order to send out weekly newsletters, you go over to campaigns. Right? Right now we don't have any, and so we have to go to create campaign. And it's asking us. So now Mailchimp has this new thing where you can actually create campaign ads from Mailchimp that are actually just like Facebook ads, and they actually run on Facebook and Instagram. So literally it saves you to stop the step of creating this Facebook ad over in Facebook. You now can do it in Mailchimp. I recommend that if you're going to run ads, that you might as well just go ahead and run them over in Facebook anyway, since it's a Facebook ad, an Instagram ad, run it over there. But you have that option. And so if you wanted to create an ad campaign, you can go to create ad. If you're just sending out your normal emails, then you're going to hit create an email. And it's asking you what kind of email. And it's just a regular. So this campaign could be, updates for June, right? You're just sending them out once a month, and then we can hit begin. and it's asking you, who do you want to send it to? Do you want to send it to your entire list? Do you want to send it to a saved segments that you created? Or do you want to go in now and create a new segment, right? If you're sending it to your entire list, you click here. If you're trying to segment out your list, then you can actually, and I'm going to show you, you can actually decide whether you want to send it only to their email addresses, blah, 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 right? So, absolute, right? Or you can say, oh no, if their open rate is, or if their automation activity, if they started the workflow with that list, then those are the people I want to send it to. Or if they opened up any of my last emails, right? Campaign activity. If they opened up any of the last 5 emails, those are the people I want to send it to. Since these people on this list are fake and they haven't done anything, then we're not going to use this as the way that we're going to do this test campaign, right? So we're going to send it to the entire list. Then we're going to hit next. And just like with what we did over in automation, you're going to do the same thing. Give it a subject, right? Updates for June, right? The who is coming from, the email address, right? How you want it to be tracked. That type of thing. You can do that there. We're going to hit next. It's now going to ask you if you want to use a template. If you want to select a template, same type of thing. If you want to select a theme, you can do it that way too. You know, however you want to start this campaign, you can do it that way. Let's see. Your saved templates, your campaigns. The only campaign that we have so far is this whole welcome series, and we can cheat and use that again, or we can go back and use the theme. And since I already showed you how to use the theme over in when we're doing automation, I'm not going to go back and put in fake information for one of these. I'm just going to pick campaign. I'm going to select that one. I am going to let it pull up. This is the updates for June. If we like this design and we're going to use it always, then we come in, we can take away some information. You know, maybe they don't necessarily need to see this whole bonus thing anymore. We can replace that maybe with a picture. Let me see what I have. I don't know what I have on this back end. Let's see. I have some client picture stuff. But I don't, let's see. I'm going to pick something and let's just do, do I want to just do that heart background? I'm trying to see if I had, this is what we're going to pick. Let's wait a minute. Let's do butterflies. Butterflies. Let's go images. Let's see, this one, let's say our newsletter had something to do with butterflies for some reason or another. And we're going to use this picture of this butterfly. All right, and that's what we're going to put in this campaign. So that way I won't actually use pictures from somebody else's stuff that I'm working on, but you still can see it in this kind of demo format. So you put in any kind of picture that you want to, you upload it in, it changes the picture, right? You put all of the font and stuff in. Now it's saying, oh, hey, look, this picture is way too big, right? Because the largest that we're going to have this newsletter is 600 by 800. And it tells you, let's fix it. You go through the steps of fixing it with the resizing of it, and you just change it to 600. It automatically changes the height, just like before. You hit save. And what that will do is get rid of that error message there. Not unless it's still too, yeah, it gets rid of the error message. Then you put all your type there, all of the type there, whatever you want on this newsletter. Then we hit next. And then it asks you, okay, so are you ready to send this out? Are you going to send this out? And if you're ready, then you're absolutely going to send it out, right? It's telling you that I deleted the footer, and I did. I absolutely deleted the footer when we were doing the demo, when we were doing the, when I was setting up automation. And so it's saying, hey, You can't do that because that footer had your address in it, so they automatically put it in there. So that's like a warning that's not going to stop it from getting sent. Now, this social cards one. So you know how over on Facebook or Twitter, when you put a link in, it actually shows like this image and all of that type of stuff and the copy under it. This is where you would set that up here. If you click down to edit here, and click on enable customized social cards. And this is what it's going to look like on the web unless you do something with it. And so we're going to say update for June from that girl Shelly. Right? And so that's the only image it has. Well, that's one of the only images that it has in it. This butterfly is another one that it has in it because we actually put that in the post, and that's the one I want to use. Unless you actually create a custom image for your social media, and then you can just upload it and stick it here. And then it's asking, okay, write a short description, and you can say, this is a test, but if this were real, I would have real information here, right? Information here. Right? And then you can put everything. You can put links in there, blah, blah, blah. That's there, right? So now that's what it will look like on Twitter. This is what it would look like on Facebook. Over on the side, it will look like that. Over in the main category part, it will look like this. And then this is what it will look like on Pinterest, right? So once you like the way that looks, you can hit save and close for that. And now notice that's green. And that's how it's going to look when you save this newsletter URL for people that are on the social media platforms. And if you're ready for this to go, then you can send it. If you're not ready for this to go and you say, oh, I pre-designed my newsletters and I actually don't want it to go until, tomorrow or whatever, then you can date it to a different date. You can change the date, you can change the time, you can do whatever, right? But you can change it there. Well, let's just say that I don't want to schedule it, that I actually want to just go ahead and send it. So I am going to, what time is it now? 1:57. All right, let's see if I can go back where it's not, cancel. Yep. So I want to cancel that because I don't want to do it that way anymore. And now I just want to send it, right? So I'm going to hit send. Before you hit send, Mailchimp is going to say, are you sure you want to do this? Don't do this. You're sweating. Don't do this. Don't do this. And I'm going to hit send now. And then it'll give me a high five because I sent my campaign. And so those 2 people that are on that list will get my campaign. If I want to track it, then I can actually track it back there where I can track the performance. I can click on that, mobile app performance. If I actually wanted to share it, I can click on that and that will give me like the card on where I can share it, right? Right? Connected to Twitter, connected to Facebook, I can share it that. If I just wanted to see what it looks like online, then I can just put that URL in and it'll actually pop up my newsletter, right? So I hope that this was helpful for you. I've shown you how to set up your automation, right? How to create your list. I didn't show you how to connect your list to your plugin, only because once you've decided what plugin that you want to use over on your website, all it's going to ask you for is your API key and your account name, right? Once you put in those 2, then you'll follow whatever instructions you have over for your plugin, right? Same thing with lead pages. All it's going to ask you is for the API key and for the account name. And once you plug that in, it'll automatically populate up your list, okay? So that was my short and hopefully sweet training on how to use Mailchimp. If you have any questions about it, or if if I didn't answer something specifically and you if I didn't answer it and you still need help, you can send me a message in my inbox and I'd be glad to help you walk through setting up your funnels, your email, everything and all things Mailchimp. Again, I am Shelly, known as That Girl Shelly online. I hope that this was extremely, extremely helpful. Don't hesitate to contact me if you need help with any of the tech stuff, any of the web stuff, any of the graphic stuff, and have a great rest of your Tuesday.